Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the demo video for the social media versus website visits. Now this is a, well, dare I say, fairly strange basic range spreadsheet. The reason why I'm making this is because I haven't had a single inquiry for a spreadsheet like this in 8 years, and then all of a sudden in 2 days I get 2 inquiries exactly the same, asking for the same kind of spreadsheet. And yeah, I just thought, well, if there's a need for it out there, I shall do it. I've never really thought of making this before, but if this is what people are after, this one, it's very, very simple. All it does is it takes your the number of social media posts and against your website traffic. I think what some people out there are wanting to know is, if they go on social media, if they post twice as much on social media, whatever the case might be, do they get, how much more visits to the website do they get? Do they get double the number of clicks back to the website? That kind of thing. And they don't necessarily want to monitor exact clicks from posts. If you want to monitor how many clicks you got back from your website from each post, there is another spreadsheet to do that in the basic range. I think it's called the marketing campaign monitor or something like that. But that spreadsheet will help you to track exactly each click, what comes back to the website. But there's some people apparently that want to track just if they have 8 social media posts in a month, what views they get. If they have 20 social media posts in a month, do the views go up? That kind of thing, and they want to be able to monitor that. So I've made the spreadsheet very, very simple. You can set it up for a 12-month period. So if you select the month that you want to start and the starting year, it'll then set up that 12-month period, and then you can just type in up to 10 different platforms. I put in some things here. You can put in whatever you want, type in up to 10. Just make sure if you reorganize this, whatever you type in here will appear at the top there. And if you type it in there and it appears here, and then you fill numbers in here, and then you come back here and resort that, these names will resort accordingly, but the data below it won't resort. So just be careful of that. I wouldn't go changing these names once you filled in data on the other tab. And also for the month, because the month will start and you'll be putting in the various months as well. So once you've set that up, I would tend to leave it. If you do want to add another platform in, just add another one on at the bottom, and then come here and then fill in the next column. So once it's set up, you can then go and get your Google Analytics data. So all you really need is your page views and sessions. So how do you get that? You go to Google Analytics, audience overview. So if I go to my Google Analytics audience overview, and then the overview tab will pop up with a graph. Then all you do is you select the 2 page views and sessions. So if we come here and we say page views, and we go here and we say sessions, and then we select the date. So if you're just doing the one for January, for example, 2020, you can go back to January 2020. You can select that month, then click apply. If you want to do 2 months or 3 months at a time, if you haven't done, or if you want to do the whole year, that's fine. But then you just click export. When you get the Excel spreadsheet export, you can then paste the data here. So copy, paste values into the spreadsheet. Don't use normal paste values. And you'll see you'll have the dates, the page views, and the sessions. And then you just post 1 month below the next, or below the last, sorry, all the way down. So that's where you put your Google Analytics data as and when you get it. But then all you do is you simply come in here each month and just type in how many posts you did that month. Now I've put in some uniformal numbers here, so it'll create a nice pretty pattern when we get to it. But you can put however many posts you post on each of those platforms per calendar month. That's it. That's all you need to do. Okay, let's have a look at the report that this one produces. This is the main graph, which actually shows the relationship between the two. Now, initially, when I first made this spreadsheet, I had a slightly different graph. I had these bar graphs like this, the stack graphs, with some bar graphs behind them showing the page views and sessions. Now, the reason that I've changed it is because it had two different axes, and you had one value down one and one down the other. And although I make these spreadsheets for Excel, that didn't work in things like Google Sheets and that type of thing. So I've just changed it to make it a little bit easier for other platforms to understand. So I've converted everything to a percentage. So this may not make sense, but that essentially is 80% of all the views. So they will be in proportion to each other because it takes the highest one. So there'll always be at least 1 month where you got 100%, and at least 1 month where you got 100% of the sessions and page views. Now you can't see the page views because, as it turns out, the values I used were exactly proportional. So your page views are actually hiding behind the session views, but when they differ, you'll see them jump out. So yeah, this shows the percentage of the page views per month, and that shows your percentage of all the different posts per month. So it keeps this graph more accurate. It's slightly more difficult to read because they're not actual values, but rather percentages. But at least you can see how things are in proportion to each other. Now, as you scroll down and see the other reports, you'll see all the values. So they are all there, but it's just on this graph I've converted to percentages. So A keeps everything in proportion, but B, it actually keeps it 100%, so you don't have these little graphs down at the bottom here, or massive values up here, and nothing, lower bars and things like that. So this just keeps it looking as nice as it possibly can. But that's the relationship between those two. Let's just scroll down and see the other graphs now. Depending on how many posts you've posted per month, so here are your months around the outside, each different colors, the different social media platforms, so you can see what your posting has been like. Here you can see the total number of posts per platform, as to which of the platforms you've actually had the most posts in, and then you've got your website traffic at the bottom there, the blue and the pink, the page views and the session. So yeah, if that's something that you're after, I hope that helps you. And if you use this, I wish you all the best with your social media marketing. Thank you and goodbye.